What an absolute blessing it must be to have had your heart broken. As a man, getting your heart broken or going through a breakup can be one of the worst feelings that you can experience. It's that deep, heavy pain in your chest, the constant replaying of memories, the nights you can't sleep, the sudden loss of appetite, the anger, the sadness, the confusion, and the self doubt. It's all mixed together. And whether it's a text message that ends everything, or watching the person that you love walk away, or even realizing that years of investment may have been worth nothing, heartbreak can make you feel like your world is collapsing. Most guys are going to try to bury it. They'll distract themselves with work, the gym, alcohol, rebounds. But I want to tell you something completely counterintuitive. Your heartbreak might be one of the best things that's ever happened to you. If this is something that you're going through right now, it may not feel that way. You're 100% not going to agree with me. Right now, it probably feels like every single thing in your life is going wrong. The world is out to get you. The person that you took care of every single day that you were there for is going to be gone, and you can't just text them when you want. You can't talk to them when you want anymore. Someone that was just there is suddenly just gone. But I'm here to tell you that one of the best things that you can keep in your tool set when it comes to your personal growth is knowing that you've gone through some sort of heartbreak like this. And I want to start this by telling you what my story is. One of the worst breakups that I've ever gone through and what I did about it, because it was not pretty. So the finer details of how the breakup occurred doesn't necessarily matter, because it wasn't super ugly. But it was the way that I felt blindsided about it. I felt everything was going perfect and everything should have been fine. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I get hit with the we need to focus on ourselves and we need to go date other people and yada yada yada. When I say this is probably the most depressed I've ever been, I am 100% not kidding. Keep in mind, this time I was in college. I was living with my roommates and we had a house together. So after this occurred, I spent maybe the better part of a month not having left the house, and better yet, just my room in general. All I really did was sit in there and play video games and listen to Kid Leroy because I related to those lyrics so much, and God, it's kind of cringy thinking about it now. But dude, I didn't feel like I had an outlet of any kind to express my emotion. I just listened to music and all I did was play Skate 3 and NHL. I really didn't want to go anywhere else or do anything else. I kept skipping classes and I was getting horrible grades for my junior year in college because of it. Honestly, I had a fantastic group of friends that was there for me, but I didn't really feel like that was working at all. They would be there and they would support me, but it got to a point where it was just way too much for them and I didn't want them to have that burden, so I just pretty much kept to myself at that point. I isolated myself to a level that I didn't even think was possible. That month and a half, I pretty much just wasted. It wasn't until I was pretty much doom scrolling on YouTube and I am not 100% sure why the algorithm was working in such a specific way, but there's no way it could have known that I was going through a breakup at the time. But it literally suggested this page to me about breakups. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called the Love Chat. He's not really active anymore. I needed to hear words about how I felt like I was completely wronged because I kept blaming myself for everything that happened. I had to learn to accept that I didn't make as many mistakes as I thought I did, and that it was probably a two-way street where we weren't necessarily that compatible for each other. But all in all, when it came to my mental health, there were a lot of things that I needed to hear, and I think that's really what inspired this video because I thought about where I was during that time and how I was feeling, and the last thing that I want is for anyone to go through the same thing that I did. But why does it hurt so much? It's unlike any other feeling that we've ever been through. It's not just feeling sad, it's a whole body and mind experience that shakes you to your core. One of the major reasons that it hurts so much is because your brain treats rejection in a romantic sense very similarly to physical pain. It's going to activate the same neural pathways as a broken bone or a serious injury. Human biology has evolved and wired our brains this way because losing a close bond that we've developed over a long period of time used to be a legitimate survival threat. For a second, I just want you to think about hunter-gatherer tribes. In those types of societies, they depended on cooperation for survival. They used to develop really strong bonds or close relationships with the people in their tribe. It meant that they shared protection and defense and also vigilance. If you lost someone when you were in a hunter-gatherer tribe, or if you lost a close ally, it left you feeling very vulnerable to attacks, injury, or death because this was a time when early humans lived in small tribes and there were physical dangers everywhere. whether it was predators, other hunter-gatherer tribes, the environment, the weather. On top of that, close bonds really helped you maintain a position within your tribe. If you had a partner that you worked with or you developed a strong bond or alliance with someone, it gave you a higher status and more support from your gathering group. So suddenly, if you're feeling entirely alone within your tribe, it led to a lower status, and sometimes you could even be cast out, and it was a death sentence. Because think about those harsh environments. They were knee deep in the snow. They could have frozen to death. Different animals that wanted to eat would find them and eat them. This is why it's literally hardwired into our brain as to why losing someone that's close to us hurts so much. On top of that, it really feels like that a part of the identity that you've been building with this person is just gone. Because when you're in love, you start building a shared future together, whether it's in your mind or with them. You guys talk about plans, dreams, routines, the future in general. When suddenly all of these ideas that you've had in your head are just ceasing to exist, it kills the version of you that was attached to the future that you guys were planning on building together. It's almost like you lose a piece of your identity that was tied to being her person. And after you kind of go through this little identity crisis, it's a mixture of the rejection and the ego destruction that you're also going through. Because when you're chosen by someone and then you're unchosen by someone, it strikes directly at our sense of worth. For men especially, society ties a lot of our value to being able to attract and keep a partner. When it fails, it can feel like proof that you're not enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough, or even just not good enough. And now let's say it was something similar to how I felt, where I feel like it was just sudden abandonment, or whether it's something that someone else may have gone through, if it was cheating or emotional withdrawal. That feeling of betrayal adds on another layer of anger and distrust. You're going to question everything. Like, how did I miss the signs? Was any of what we had real? How could I be so stupid to have not seen this coming? These are all things that compile when we feel that sense of betrayment. This just goes to show that if you're in this type of feeling and you're going through these emotions right now, it is 100% okay, because it's biologically wired in us. The pain isn't weakness. Your brain treats the romantic rejection similar to physical pain. On top of that, society kind of piles on the pressure. Men are often raised with the idea that our worth is tied to achievement and being able to win in life, and that includes relationships. When it fails, you can feel like a personal failure. But here's the truth most men never hear. Almost every high-value man that you look up to has been heartbroken at least multiple times. The difference is how they responded. It may feel like everything is ending all at once right now, but when you reposition your brain to think about this from a way of growth, your life is going to change forever. What a blessing it must be to have loved and cared for something or someone so much that it hurts this much when it's gone. What a blessing it must be to have proof that you have the capacity to love so deeply and to care so fully and to invest yourself completely into another person. What an absolute blessing it must be to have gone all in and not half-ass something when it comes to a relationship, and to give it your all so much that you experienced real connection with someone. A lot of men will never be able to reach this level just because they generally stay emotionally closed off. They avoid heartbreak, but also avoid real intimacy and growth with someone. Think about the positive things that are going to happen when you're feeling this way. Think about it in the long term. You're going to be able to self-reflect like no other. Pain is going to be able to remove all the excuses. You yourself can be the only person that can decide what went wrong, and you'll be able to analyze that in full. What kind of patterns do you keep repeating? Where did you lose yourself trying to make all of it work? What kind of red flags did you ignore? This level of self-awareness is really rare, and it's extremely valuable for when you're in your next relationship. Think about the unbreakable emotional resilience that you're going to develop. Because when you survive a deep heartbreak like this, it's going to prove to yourself that you can handle life's hardest hits. Because let's be honest, a heartbreak is probably one of the most challenging things that you can go through in your life. It's a very different type of navigation compared to facing rejection because of a job or things like that. But it is going to help you when it comes to transferring that strength into your career and being able to face those types of rejections. You're going to be able to build your own self-discipline, because you're going to understand a lot about yourself and what you didn't necessarily appreciate from that person that will translate into your next relationship. It's going to translate into your friendships. Who are the people that you keep around? How do they treat you? You're going to become anti-fragile. You're not just recovering, but you're getting better at building your own mindset around these types of things. And maybe you're going to be the person that uses this heartbreak to fuel your friggin' villain era or whatever. But just think, that translates into every single rep that you take at the gym. That's going to make you stronger. It's going to make you tougher. It's going to build your mind because you're pushing yourself to your physical limits, and you might start eating better so that way you can get a better physical shape to yourself. How can that be a negative when it comes to heartbreak, man? I'm probably going to be the last dude that's going to look at you when you're going through a heartbreak and be like, hey, brother, welcome to the gym. There are a lot of things that you can do for your mental health, but the science, I've talked about this before, it backs going to the gym to increase that dopamine output, lower that cortisol. And when you're stressed and your mind is going crazy because you're going through this heartbreak and this breakup, the last thing you need is increased cortisol and stress from other factors. So do something about it by going to the gym. Don't do it because you're trying to get absolutely jacked. You should be doing it because you're going to feel better about yourself, and the science just backs it. There's no excuse. You just 100% need to do something to get your body moving in this situation. All in all, we really need to take a step back when we're going through a heartbreak and stop thinking about it as such a negative thing. It's going to be extremely hard to think logically instead of with your emotions when it comes to this. But when you start seeing things practically, why do you have a reason to be upset about this happening? Like, seriously, think about this for a second. What difference is it actually going to make in your life if you continue to fucking mope around? You can hide in your room all you want, you can never leave the house, but that's not going to fix anything. So it is 100% time to get up and do something about it. So this next part is going to be a bit of a mixture of a message to my younger self, but also a message to all of you. Because the fact of the matter is, sitting here and bitching about what happened is not going to change the fact that what happened happened. That person's gone. The reality is that people come and go in our lives for a reason. You're more likely than not to meet someone new that's going to be better for you if you were committed to someone in the first place, just like you were. So really, it is time to get off of our asses. But I'm not saying that you can't take the time to reflect on your mistakes or the mistakes of the relationship, because that is important. But you need to distract yourself and start doing things that are actually going to make you feel good. Now, don't think that getting into other things like vices of alcohol and drugs during this time is going to benefit you in any way, because that's just fake happiness and it's fake feel good. It's all artificial. When you're going through a heartbreak, one of the best pieces of advice that I could give is this: for that month alone, just don't drink, don't smoke anything, don't be doing any of that. And don't think for a second that trying to immediately find someone new in terms of a rebound or sleeping around with a bunch of people is going to do anything to help you fill that void in the first place. All you're doing is trying to replace the feeling of that person that you lost, and that's just not healthy. What you should be focusing on is moving forward yourself instead of focusing on the past. So, here is how we move forward. Start by feeling the emotion. Give yourself permission to have time to feel the pain for a short and controlled period. Then, after you've been able to experience those emotions, you need to deliberately shift the energy into action instead of rumination. For the love of God, go into full no contact with this person. Whether it's needing to delete her on social media or muting her on everything, don't stalk her, don't check on her, don't text her, don't check her location if you still have it. This is an absolute non-negotiable when it comes to your healing. The last thing that you need to do when you're focusing on your own personal growth is worrying about where this person is and what they're doing at all times. The fact of the matter is, when you stalk their social medias like this, or you're looking at what they're doing, you're probably going to find something that you're not going to like. Whether it's them posted up with a new person, them out partying with their friends, it's just going to hurt even more. So don't do it. On top of that, it's time to go through your phone and start deleting all pictures that you have of her. There's a routine that we follow where we might want to check the photos to remember the good times as well. It starts with shifting the environment around you and giving yourself the ability to not think about this person. So delete the photos of her in your phone. Delete the photos of you guys together. You will benefit from this. Then take that stored up heartbreak and anger that you have and output it into something like the gym. Do something to get your body moving and do it hard. Start lifting weights and do it with intent. Target every single muscle group. And when I say with intent, make sure that you're targeting every single fiber within those muscle groups. For example, your shoulder is not just the shoulder. Don't just do shoulder press. Your shoulder has 3 different heads that you need to target: your front delt, your medial delt, and your rear delt. Make sure you're hitting your upper, your middle, and your lower chest. These are just examples when it comes to the gym. But if you have a heavy bag that you can smack the shit out of, get some gloves and start swinging. But do it with intent. Practice the motion. Practice executing that perfect jab. Make sure your footwork is doing okay. If you're going to hit a kick, make sure you're moving your body with full force into the kick and you're kicking through the bag, not just kicking at it. Not only are you going to feel better by doing these things, but you're putting your brain into a mode where you're putting deep focus and thought into different techniques as you're doing things when it comes to making your body better. Not only is this going to distract you, but you're going to learn how to be doing things in a healthy manner so you're not hurting yourself, but also learning a new skill that you might not have thought that you had in the first place. And now we get into rebuilding our purpose. Start reconnecting with a mission that you have in mind to give yourself higher meaning. Focus on something that's bigger than a relationship. Work on your career. Develop new skills. Come up with those business ideas. Set fitness targets for yourself. Work on a personal project. A man with purpose will recover faster, believe me. Don't leave your friends hanging. Make sure that you reconnect with them. Go out with the boys. Don't trauma dump on them, but have a good time. Spend that time with them. Dude, plan a gaming night with them. Go to the gym with them. Do something. I would, like I said, avoid trying to do anything related to drinking during this time. But make sure you're having fun, man. It's not all serious all the time. Now that you've done the work to do things that have made you start feeling better about yourself, now is when we can actually heal. Start journaling and writing things down. What did you learn? What will you never tolerate again? What do you want in your next relationship? What part of you got lost? These things are critical because you're never going to be able to understand what happened in the previous relationship if you don't write it down. Our brain has a connection to remembering things more as we write them down on a piece of paper compared to just thinking about it or typing it out. I would highly recommend, it doesn't even have to be a journal, just grab a piece of paper or a notebook that you have. Start writing things down. Write down how it made you feel or the emotions that you went through so that way you can actually connect with the way that you were feeling. It's going to help you put yourself in a significantly better place after that. I've already talked a little bit about rebuilding your purpose and things like that, but if what you're doing doesn't necessarily relate to having a new hobby or a skill of some kind, then you should really start considering it at this point. When you educate yourself into doing something new, whether it's doing martial arts, starting a side hustle, learning a language, whatever it may be, you're going to educate yourself and you're going to feel competent, and competence is one of the best cures for insecurity. And I know that during this time we're feeling highly insecure. Go out and serve others. Help a friend move. Mentor someone younger. Volunteer. Do something like that to get out of your own head and help others. It's going to be incredibly healing. And also, make sure you're taking care of your space and yourself. Make sure your hygiene is good. If you have facial hair and want to keep it, make sure it's clean. Make sure you have a clean shave all the time and you're not running around with scruff. Make sure you smell good. Make sure you're brushing your teeth. Maybe it's time to update your wardrobe and get yourself a hard fit or something like that. Find something that you know you're going to look good in. When you're taking care of your hygiene and you're taking care of the way that you look, it's going to signal to yourself that you're moving forward. If you take care of your room or you take care of the house that you live in, you're making your bed, you're making sure that things are clean, the counters are wiped down, the mirror doesn't have streaks all over it, the shower isn't black, that's going to signal to others that you're moving forward. And last but not least, there is absolutely no shame in seeking out professional help if it's needed. A lot of men stray away from getting something like a therapist or a coach that's going to make them understand the way that they're feeling and what they can do to solve that problem. If you're deep in a rut and you're not in your bag and moving forward, it may be time to take a look at that. Therapy can do wonders for people. Just because you might not think it'll help you doesn't mean it won't. So the least you can do is give it a try. If you're in school, like in high school or in college, there's generally going to be counselors that are available to you that will offer free sessions. I would utilize that if you can. If you have a health plan through your employer, there is most likely an available resource for mental health through that. A lot of employee-sponsored health plans have something to cover therapy of some kind if it's needed. Make sure you look into your plan and see what kind of benefits they offer you. Or if not, find a service that's near you. Go online and find the BetterHelp. This is not a sponsorship, by the way. The worst thing that you can do is stay stuck if you absolutely need to move forward with talking to someone. There is absolutely no shame in that. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Now, I know I said at the beginning of this video, man, what a blessing it must be to have had your heart broken. And here's the reasons why. First, look at all the steps that we just took in order to grow. You just became a significantly better person than you were when you were in that relationship. You made yourself better for yourself. You made yourself better for your friends around you. You made yourself better for your family. On top of that, you're going to make yourself better for your next relationship because you're going to be more emotionally engaged and educated on what you want and what you need out of these things. You're going to set boundaries and you're going to make sure that you have limits and things that you're not going to be okay with. This is a fantastic thing. You've learned new skills. You've gotten the help that you've needed. You're taking care of yourself. How could any of this be a negative, and how could this not be an absolute blessing for you? Heartbreaks make us realize things about ourselves that we may not have known before. We're rebuilding our identity and we're rebuilding the way that we're moving forward in our lives by when these things happen. So congratulations, you're a fantastic brand new person that's ready for the world. And on top of that, the other way it's a blessing is the fact that you know you have given yourself 100% to someone before. It's not the time to sit there and say that you'll never be able to find someone like her again. You'll never be able to date anyone else because they'll just be too much like her and you'll be reminded of her. But all of the things that we just talked about should show you that you have the ability and you have the strength to find someone new that's going to be better for you. You have the capacity to love again. And that's why it's a blessing that heartbreak is the best thing for you, because you might just find a better person for you because of it. Gentlemen, whether you are in a rut, have gone through a rut, have seen some sort of heartbreak, or are going through it right now, I really hope this helps you, and I really hope that you're utilizing this information to move forward and grow yourself. Again, a part of the reason that I'm doing this is because it's a message to my younger self, but I also want to relay these messages onto you guys because I made a lot of the same mistakes that we might be seeing other young men go through right now. And the best way to learn is to go and hear someone that's made mistakes and has suffered through the pain, because let's be real, pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. I want to give a quick shout out here at the end for you guys. It's been about 2 weeks since I started this channel and I've already got 6 subscribers. I didn't really think I would be able to have 1 at this point because it's so brand new. So thank you guys for the ones that have subscribed. And for those of you that are just watching and clicking on the video, I appreciate you too. I didn't even think it would be possible to have 5 videos posted so far. One of them is already past 100 and another is past 200 views. That's actually incredible to me. I thought most of them would be at like 10 at this point. So for everyone, whether you're a subscriber, you're a viewer, you've left a comment, you've done a like, I 100% appreciate you. If you feel like you're enjoying the content so far, you're enjoying the channel, just feel free to drop a like, leave a comment. It'll help the YouTube algo do its thing and it'll outreach and find more people that may need the help. So if you do this, once again, thank you so much. I really appreciate all you guys and I look forward to chatting with you all again soon. Peace.